Hi, welcome to the section of Flume. In this section, we'll be looking at what is Flume and what are the different types of different components that are available in Flume, and why is Flume useful, so useful in Hadoop. Okay, so let's start with what is Flume. Flume is a distributed, reliable, and available system for efficiently collecting, aggregating, and moving large amounts of data from many data sources to a centralized data store. Having said that, Flume is something which is very much useful for collecting data from different sources. Okay, so it will stream data from multiple sources into Hadoop. Okay, let's say that it can be an web source, it can be an Avro source, it can be any sort of source. It can collect data. It can collect data from various sources and put it into Hadoop for a different sort of analysis. That's the greatness of Flume. Okay, so that's why we call Flume as distributed, reliable, and available system for efficiently collecting, aggregating, and moving large amounts of data from many data sources to HDFS. Okay, so it can collect very huge volumes of web logs in real time. Okay, so and it ensures that data is not lost. So when I say all these things, so with which mechanism does it pull data from different web sources, right? So when it has to pull data from different web sources, it has three major components. One is source, sink, and channel. Okay, and the data that will be flowed from source to channel and from channel to sink. This is how your data flow will happen in Flume. Okay, so when I say data, okay, a singular unit of data that is transported by Flume is called as an event. A data unit which is transported by Flume is called as an event. So see here, source stores events into channels. Okay, when I say event is a data unit that is transported within the Flume. So what is source here? Okay, the source is an entity through which your data enters into Flume. Okay, so source will actively poll for data or actively or passively wait for data to be delivered to them. So it has to wait or it has to search by itself for the data. Okay, source is the entity through which the data enters into Flume, and source will passively wait for the data to enter into Flume. Okay, and a variety of sources are allowed. Allowed data to be collected. It can be an log source or a log4j source or an Avro source, anything, web source, anything. So a variety of data can be collected using source. So what is this sink? Okay, we know what is an event now, we know what is a source, and now let's see what is a sink. Okay, the sink is a entity that delivers data to the destination. Okay, so it is the final entity from which the data will be entering into the destination. A variety of sinks allow data to be streamed to a range of destination. Okay, in order to explain that, one example is HDFS is a sink that writes data to, again it can write to HDFS also. There is a sink called HDFS, okay, which drains the data into HDFS. Okay, that's why there are variety of sinks available. You can configure the sink as an HDFS. You can configure the sink as your AIX, anything. Different variety of sinks are allowed to be configured in Flume. So sink is an entity that delivers the data to the destination. And another main thing we have over here is channel. Yeah, so channel is an intermediary between source and sink. If you could see here, it lies in between source and sink, right? Sources ingest data or ingest events into the channel, and the channel stores the data until the events are consumed or drained by the sink. That's why we call channel as an intermediary between source and sink. Source ingests events into channels, and channel stores the data until the events are consumed by sink. Okay, so that's the main property of channel. But there can be sources which maybe due to transmit spikes or something, they can deliver huge amount of data than anticipated sometime due to transient spikes. Okay, in that case what happens is channel ensures that it is increasing its memory capacity dynamically and stores the data though the consumption rate is slow by the sink. Okay, in order to explain that, let's say if source has to send 1 megabytes of data per second, it's the normal delivery of events by the source, and of course sink also consumes 1 megabyte of data per second or something. But if the writing speed of data has been increased by the source due to some transient spikes or something, maybe it had reached 10 megabytes or something, channel stores the data until those are consumed by the sink. It increases its memory capacity and stores it. Okay, this is how Flume ensures that there is no data loss. Okay, that's why we say Flume is a reliable, okay, system which moves large amounts of data. Okay, and one more important thing that has to be considered over here is agent. See, when I say an agent is an physical JVM, okay, a Java virtual machine running. Any JVM, any physical JVM running Flume is called an agent. Okay, I would say it's a collection of source, sink and channels. Okay, so when I say agent, it's nothing but an physical JVM that is running Flume, and it's a collection of source, sink and channels. Okay, there can be multiple sources and there can be variety of sinks. Okay, a sink can deliver its data to another source. So that's how, and one agent can be interlinked with another agent. Yeah, so let's see a Flume example here. I have a web server which I would call it as an client. Client produces and transmits the data to the source operating with the agent. So it's a client which produces my data. Okay, it can produce some JSON format or something to source. So what source does is it ingests the data into channel, and channel passively stores the data until these are consumed by the sink. As soon as the sink consumes and delivers the data into HDFS, then only channel will remove its data. Okay, before sink transferring the data to HDFS, your channel will not remove the data. This is to ensure that you are delivering the data 100%. As soon as I get my data from web server to source will ingest it into channel. Channel will passively store it until that particular data is consumed by HDFS, and once sink confirms channel that I have successfully delivered the data, then only channel removes the events inside it. Okay, this is an quick introduction about Flume. Okay, in our next section we'll be seeing how to configure Flume and how to pull data from different sources. Okay, in this section we had seen what is Flume and why it is used and what are the different components of Flume. Hope you had enjoyed this video. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Bye bye.